What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back is kind of the not true sentiment because you were only here yesterday. But anyway, welcome, everybody. It is going, what will happen today at 1 a.m.? I have no idea. What will happen at 1 a.m.? Welcome back. Lots to talk about tonight. Lots to talk about tonight. You are going to have to strap in. This stream is going to be pretty wild. And it's going to go into a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff that I think is important to touch on. Now, I'm going to caveat this by saying, this is not me being bullish, being bearish. I'm not telling you to sell everything. I'm not telling you to buy anything. We're just going to walk through some research I've been doing today that is pointing to a few things from my understanding. And I'm just going to be really dead honest with you guys in a minute. I am incredibly conflicted, which probably isn't a good thing, actually. But I'm conflicted in the sentiment of, is the bull market over? Is it finished, right? Have we missed the top? And now we're just going to see this consistent bleed out of the market? Or are people wrong, right? And are people just getting this so wrong? And are there some things we can look at that may be painting a slightly different picture that other people potentially are missing, right? Because if you sit on crypto Twitter right now, you have these two factions, which is the we're all doomed and we're going to zero, and the absolutely you guys are a set of freaks and we're going to on your all-time highs. Okay, so we're going to try and look at, I think, what is going on at macro level. This is important though, because there are some things that you are going to have to draw your own conclusions and make a decision on the back of it. Today, yet again, the market is down, albeit not as aggressively down as we anticipated. So this is going to be one of those where we're going to have to walk through quite a lot of stuff, and we're going to have to walk through quite a few charts, and it may be a little bit like, it may be a bit clunky, this live stream, but I think it's going to be worth it. And hopefully, if you do get some value out of it and you do find this is a worthwhile thing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that kind of stuff, because you know, it would be easy for me to come on tonight and be like, oh, fucking Marek, that's it. I sold everything. You know, all these crypto YouTubers that have sold everything 5 days ago but didn't tell anybody. Do you know what I mean? I saw literally 3 people today who basically said, I'm all out, the top's in, and I've sold everything. You're like, all right, so you didn't tell your entire community 5 days ago that's what you're going to do. Okay, well, that tells me a picture of exactly what these individuals are. So I want to caveat this by saying I have not sold anything. I'm not in stable yet. I am still holding my positions, as painful as it is in some instances. I am still holding. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't got some capital, and I have actually got some USDT that I may be tempted to put into the market if some things play out. So again, this is going to be one of those, certainly a important stream to talk about. Just to give you a bit of a kind of, oh, I forgot I changed that. That is super annoying. Just to give you an idea of what it is that we're going to sort of talk about, because there is some stuff we need to talk about, is we're going to sort of get into, we're going to get into banks. We're going to get into what's going on. Look at all these charts I need to show you guys. That is a crazy picture. We'll talk about that. Loads of this stuff, right? It's all going to make a point, okay? It's all going to make a point, and we're going to get to it and why it's important, all right? You guys as well, get ready, TikTok, because it's going to be a pretty epic stream. Show us the wallet then. Well, I don't just have one wallet. I have about 6, but I mean, you can take me at my word if you want, or you can say I'm a liar. It's up to you. But I don't think I would lie about not going to stablecoin. That would be crazy. Like, that would be literally, if I could totally get it if I was like, oh yeah, I went in stablecoin like 6 days ago. People would be like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So, again, you don't have to believe me. It's fine. I don't really care. So let's say hello to a few people, and then we'll get into it. Right, Hunter, what's going on? Magic Craig's here. Tim's here. Welcome in. Redemption says, just post some more XRP videos. Big Al's bullish by the looks of it, but not sticking around. No dramas. Kevin, what's going on? JFR, good to see you. 37 says, what a week, though. Dad was on his way out. Help man with his cage. Got nurses coming down tomorrow. Help man. Home with the rest of the week. Yeah, I imagine 37. It's really difficult. I can't get money into XCL to save my flipping life. I've tried to send money from Pure Wallet to Sui. Like, it's not on Sui though. It's on ETH. If it's the one I'm thinking of. Never a dull weekend. That's true. That's true. Apple Bear, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, pal. Beebs here. 37. Chris Bendix. Chad's Shib 420. What a legend. Future's here. Griff, welcome. Looking great in green, guys. If you want to become a channel member, feel free. Costs you about $8 a month. Definitely worth it. We got a full breakdown of kind of what I'm going to talk about in this live stream, but I'm actually going to post the stats in the premium Discord as well. Applebee's Gonzalo. Okay, fine. Well, don't come in with a different name. Anyway, Nadar says, hey, 2bit, I don't like the title of this live stream. Is there a good news? Well, you're just going to have to make it up, and we're going to have to walk through it, all right? And then welcoming everybody here on TikTok as well. Shout out to you guys. Smash up the like button. Fairground, good to see you, pal. Trade the chart, not the sentiment. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that as well. Ponzi scheme every 4 years. Yeah. Do you follow blockchain backer? He thinks there's too many bearish divergences. I don't follow the bearish. Look, depending on who you listen to, depends, like, so many people just have an opinion right now. We're going to try and mitigate emotion. That's the plan of this live stream. And then we're going to try and break down some of the key things that are going to give you the idea of where you want to go to. And by the way, just so we're clear, there is no right or wrong answer here because we don't have a crystal ball. So no one actually knows. All we can do is speculate, try and apply some logic, get people's views, by the way. So please drop some comments, give your opinions as I'm walking through what I'm going to show you guys. I want you to comment. I want you to be like, no, but that's bollocks. You're talking shit. Equally, I want you to be like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Like, okay, this may rethink what I'm doing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's get into it because it's going to be an important stream, this one. TikTok, I will see you guys in just a second because you need to see the screen as well, which hopefully you guys can see the full screen, right? I think you can see the full screen. Just trying to make sure you can because you need to. Right. Okay, so let's just start on the current chart. This is on the daily candles for Bitcoin. So we saw another push down in the market today, albeit a wick to 103, which is actually a pretty low range, broke the 200 EMA on the daily and continued to push down. Now, if we go to the weekly candles, we actually are still holding market structure up. And more importantly, this is the big line here, the 200 EMA. There is a debate right now. There's a video coming out. I think it's tomorrow that I'm going to put the video out. That the 365 EMA is probably the more important bull market cycle. If you caught my Bitcoin update video today, you will sort of see how that explains what that is. But if you go to the weekly candles, and if you think about how markets trade, you don't really trade on a daily candle. You're not like all in the morning, all out by the evening. You trade on a much bigger time frame, and time frames are more important at a bigger level. Okay, so again, we hold market structure. I'm not saying that this is good news. I'm not saying this is bad news. What I'm saying is that we are currently holding market structure exactly as we did here back in October 2023. And we then saw the move exactly as we kind of did here back in March of 2025 and probably a little bit here as well back in August of 2024. So right now, this market structure is still holding, but there are some other things at play that we need to talk about, which I think could, and you need to understand this, right? These could either be good news or bad news, right? And I know that's probably not what people want to hear. Maybe people just want to hear me go, oh, it's going to be fine and everyone should buy the dip. We've got to be objective about this. Okay, so I want to talk a lot tonight and I want to draw some comparisons between gold, silver, and then how this plays out into the crypto market and more importantly into the treasuries and why there is a risk right now in terms of some of the regional banks. Now, we talked a little bit about this the other day, and we talked a little bit about kind of what this looks like. If you generally look at history, just to put some context before we get deep into this, generally when you look at history, you sort of see people FOMOing in to whatever the hot new narrative is, right? So whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's gold, whether that's stocks, whether that's derivatives, options, whatever it is, right? Everyone wants the game. When you have lowering interest rates, people can draw money for cheaper. That's why you see people like overvaluing companies and going all sorts of crazy shit. Like that's why you see things like crypto.com using $1 billion to fund and buy and change the whole freaking advertising structure of a basketball team, right? Because money's cheap, okay? But there are some very specific analysis and draws when we look at particularly gold, silver, and then we look at how this relates back to the crypto market, okay? So this is going to be important. I'm going to walk through. Now, just for reference, we actually had a massive sell-off today. I mean, this is a big deal. Silver sold off about 4.5%, gold 2.34%. Now, I know what you're already thinking. Too bad. Maybe we are seeing what we generally see in markets, which is people are rotating out of the FOMO. Remember, the game's not fair. Institutions will dump on retail. It is just facts, okay? The slight difference is the Bitcoin market, we aren't seeing institutions dump as much right now, but still, it's important to think about. Doing okay, Tim? Got some catching up to do on 2-bit content. 37-year legend. Holmes, what's going on? Most thought the 75k dip was game over. Exactly, yeah. And the fact is Bitcoin is such a high fluctuation rate, it affects everything else way more than it used to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so this is where we're going to start. Bitcoin, 106. We talked about this. We've been discussing this for a little bit, and this will all kind of play out over the course of what I'm about to talk to, and we'll bring it back to the point towards the back end of the stream, which will be about half an hour, by the way, maybe slightly less. But we talked about this before, that foreign countries or non-US countries, or basically not anyone other than the US, not Europe, okay? It's important to see there is a differential between the two. But everyone keeps saying gold could crash at any time. The fact is that there has been some pretty epic buying in gold for the longest time. In fact, banks, and if you remember this, about 4 days ago I was talking about this, banks now hold more gold than they do US treasuries. Okay, this is important to think about. The reality is that the central banks across the world are buying or were buying gold. Okay, now there is a debate right now that they may be rotating this gold, but that's for a different slide a bit later on, or a different picture later on. But the fact of the matter is that now you have got banks that are holding way more gold. Why? Why would banks be holding gold right now over US treasuries? Well, the reality is that US treasuries are about to dump. Okay, don't believe me? Then I'm going to tell you why I think that is. So we have to kind of flip back and forth. That's why I'm saying this might get a little bit clunky, but it all will make sense in the end, and hopefully it will kind of all make sense. By the way, TikTok, I can't see this screen, FYI, but do drop your questions and I'll double back to them because I think it's going to be important. Some people may have some questions, so yeah, let me know. It won't crash, mate. It's gold. I'm not saying it's well. People will sell it, and that's what will crash gold. Okay. Anyway, I'll take your questions at the end. Right. So we need to double back and just flip to another chart and understand what these are, why these treasuries are important, and ultimately how they work. So, for example, if you were to take the 30-year treasury, right, this is a government-backed bonds. This is generally seen as a safe investment that people will go into. You will currently get 4.6% annual return on the investment that you put in it, right? Okay, fine, 4.6%, cool. As more and more of this is purchased, that gets diluted. So you get lower yields as the price goes up. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So people will get less for their capital. This is why you are seeing banks get rid of them, because the money printer, albeit they don't want you to know this. And I talked about this 2, maybe 3 weeks ago when I was telling you about the Fed balance sheet, the fact they were trying to get back to that $800 billion. Well, they're as close as they've ever going to be. And I think the government shutdown, we'll talk about some of the data that's come in, is actually going to drive this narrative even more, by the way. But the banks are holding gold, okay? Interest rates, falling gold prices, they are basically what we're going to look for. And this has happened like before, right? This has happened way before, always happens. And again, you can see that previously, before US Treasuries really kicked off, that we saw exactly the same sort of thing. Now, this is where the market plays out very, very differently. You can also see this in terms of some of the biggest adversaries and some of the people that have been the biggest challenges to overcome in terms of the tariff announcements, okay? So again, you can see this here. Japan and China, their foreign holdings of US treasuries have declined, right? They are dumping US treasuries like lunatics, okay? Their holdings now are just 8%, the lowest in 22 years. Now, why is that? Well, because they're absolutely at a, what's the word I would look for? Almost like a secret trade war. You've got the very public trade war, which I don't know if you saw the Trump sort of discussion tonight, has sort of said it's not sustainable. He's meeting with President Xi in 2 weeks, which may flip everything, by the way, and actually would still leave us maybe a couple of days left of October, but may flip everything, okay? But that's for a separate live stream, totally. Japan's share is 13%, near lowest on record. Now, if you remember, Japan also was pretty tasty when it came to the whole tariff announcements and all the rest of it. So again, they are dumping it. Now, this is in stark contrast. European markets are actually buying US treasuries. Now, you could argue that at the minute, the Europeans are kind of trying to get in bed a little bit with the US, but probably makes sense. This is where it becomes very interesting, though, in the banking sector. And this is where there is a risk in terms of what we're talking about and why there is a desperation for the Fed to reduce rates. First Bank. Now, this is a pretty big bank, by the way. They lost more than $4 billion implied by trading, okay? So this is where banks have got loads of debt right now, and the market's built on debt. And there's another chart I just need to show you really, really quickly because it makes sense. I think it's this one. So this is MicroStrategy as well. Now, obviously, everyone knows strategy. Everyone knows that it's Michael Saylor. I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but it is dumping like you wouldn't believe. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go bust and it's going to go bankrupt, but what you're going to see, and you are seeing this as well, is that maybe, just maybe, strategy is over-leveraged on debt against Bitcoin, okay? And you start to then play out this kind of big macro thing. But think about this. We actually were around $450 back in late July. This is when we saw Saylor buying like $1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Right now, though, we're at $240, and it looks like it's going to go lower. So MicroStrategy is dumping, which again it's by the by really, but shows you the risk attached to debt. This is why, yet again, we're seeing loads of people move into gold, because actually gold is therefore perceived as a safe haven. Now, just jumping a little bit further forward here. If you believe that institutions will buy markets, will drive prices up, and then dump on everybody getting in, there is no greater picture to understand what this looks like than this, right? And there's loads of pictures circulating about this. This is Sydney, Australia, and locals are queuing to buy fucking gold. Like, are you winding me up right now? Like, are you literally winding me up right now? This is insane. Like, why would you queue it? We saw it in, I think, Vietnam was another one today, where people are just are like unequivocally buying gold like crazy people. Okay. Now, this is in stark contrast to what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, Citibank, Silvergate Bank, where we just collapsed and everyone went mad to try and get all of their funds out of it. Okay. So people are genuinely buying a FOMO in, right? Buying a FOMO in. Of gold, right? Pretty crazy if you ask me, right? But how is this all played out? So we talked a little bit about first bank implied debt. Now, you also have US banks on $395 billion in unrealized losses. This is the kicker. This is why gold is being bought by banks, right? Because they need to find a way of funding $400 billion worth of unrealized losses. Otherwise, they're going to default on their loans. Not the banks specifically, but actually loads of these people that have taken out massive loans, over leveraged property portfolios, massive company evaluations, like all this kind of crazy shit, right? You've just got massive amounts of unrealized debt that's been pushing since 2023, where the banks got bailed out, okay? And we've just kind of moved this like bullshit on, okay? US banks, by the way. UK banks, we bailed them out a while back and it was a disaster anyway, but you get my point. The reality here is that you have got an absolute shit show building up in the background, which is driving gold and it's driving US treasuries, right? Which means at the minute, people are not going to go into Bitcoin. They don't need to go into Bitcoin. Why are you going to speculate on a risk asset that just wiped $2 billion out, another billion today, and risk it when you can go into the safe haven? And again, I do that in inverted quotes. TikTok, you can't see me, but it's in inverted quotes. The safe haven of US Treasury yield and gold. Now, here's where you get humbled. Gold absolutely dumped its arsehole out today. And silver did exactly the same. And I think this is going to play out as people buy into this. And we've seen this. We saw this with Bitcoin. We've seen it with Treasury yields. You see it in the bond market where people go and buy it. Retail comes in and what happens? The big boys completely shit all over them. Okay, that's exactly what we're seeing. Okay, so again, pretty interesting. We're seeing loads of pictures of this going all over. I talked a little bit about MicroStrategy. This will play a bigger part over the course of maybe the next few weeks. Here's a kicker. If he doesn't buy on Monday, then we definitely need to keep an eye on this, because I think a lot of sentiment in the market is driven by the fact that Saylor is like, yep, I'm going to buy more. I'm going to buy more. Now, we could go down this whole sort of, this whole kind of crazy narrative that maybe MicroStrategy defaults and all sort of, it all goes to zero and all this kind of crazy stuff. But that's for a way doomier video than it is this live stream. But it is worth noting here that on the surface, you look at MicroStrategy and he'll tell you he's outperformed the S&P, and he tells you, ask yourself this question. They weren't added to the S&P 500. Okay, fine. And the stock price is collapsing. Eventually, they could print so many stocks, by the way, that this stock price is completely worthless. And maybe they pivot into Bitcoin. And maybe the caveat is, the yin to the yang on this is that all of a sudden Bitcoin becomes the standard that they operate that model on. Again, time will tell on this one. So how does this then sit? And I guess we kind of have to reflect on a little bit of where we are. Altcoin Daily sort of giving us a view here. I think similar to what we talked about right at the very start of the stream, that, well, on the weekly or the 2 weekly in here, that what they're looking at, well, actually the market structure is still very much intact, and Titan of Crypto is doing exactly the same thing. So again, we are certainly on a macro sentiment, feeling like we may go a little bit further up, but it will come back to this: the banks defaulting on unrealized losses, while at the same time, people completely FOMO in. Okay, so that paints a picture of exactly where we are. Currently, the entire super crazy hype on S&P 500, gold is overhyped using money that's not theirs. I think that's fair to say right now. I definitely think that's kind of fair to see. And do you know what would be really interesting if we could get the data? And I don't know if we can. I'll try maybe for Sunday's stream is how much debt is being used to buy gold. Now, that would be a crazy, crazy thought process because actually then you would have people that are going to go leverage debt and then gold collapses. Now, here's a question for everybody in the chat. I'm going to turn TikTok just so I can see you guys because here's a question. Right. HRH, thank you so much for the heart meets. Appreciate it. Number 17 fan of the club. What club? Here's a question for everybody. When gold collapses or when gold begins to push down, what do you think happens to all the all the institutional money and the institutional gains that have been made? What do you think they are going to do with that profit? There's the question. There is a question. Let me know. Come on. I want to see some answers in the chat. Chris Moore, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. LK's here as well. Jesse, what's good, man? Glenn, they give it to the poor. Exactly. This is the problem with you guys. I'm trying to be serious. People on TikTok are going, they're going to put it in risk assets. It's going to go to Bitcoin. You guys, it all goes into panic. Oh, I give it to the poor. Like, fuck off, YouTube, you massive set of choppers. Like, come on. It's over, buddy. You've been giving people wrong advice. Okay, look, that's fine. I hope you're entirely in stablecoin, and I hope you're absolutely in cash. And I thank you for your statements. I really appreciate it. But as I always say, I have not been given any financial advice because this is not the type of channel that gives financial advice. But I appreciate your completely irrelevant comment. Thank you so much. If you're holding your crypto assets on any exchanges and you have not moved them direct, yeah, absolutely. I said this the other night, by the way. I said that I moved everything off Binance. I got everything I had off Binance. So yeah, which is good. Right. Okay. So the fact of the matter is that the assumption would be that it will move into risk on assets. Now, why was it going to move into risk on assets? Because you're going to get lower interest rates. You're going to get a dovish Fed. People are going to feel a little bit better. Inflation data is going to come down. For example, the US job data came in, albeit it's in the middle of a government shutdown, so it's very difficult. But the figure came in at 215, which is 13,000 jobs lower than expectation. Okay, this is pretty good. It was expected from 234. All right, good news. Now, it's a difficult one to have. And actually, when we get to the 20, whatever it is, 29th, whatever it is, CPI is going to be the kind of big one. But again, this the data adjustment during government shutdown highlights potential macroeconomic impacts on financial markets. Okay, that's fine. All right. So this is kind of playing it out for a more important look. So if we then sort of come to the point and say, okay, what is the outcome? Where do we go? How do we sort of play these markets? And again, I'm not going to tell you whether you should go long, short, buy, sell, whatever, right? That's not what I'm going to do. But if I look at where I am right now, and by the way, again, the context here is I am not comfortable where these markets are. I am not comfortable where these markets are. However, if you look at the correlation today between gold and Bitcoin, gold dumped, right? Gold dumped. Bitcoin, albeit did dump on the macro, pumped on the back of the US stock market opens. You can literally see this when you look at this. Let's do the hourly chart. So here is the US market open here. Look, so you got Asia again dumping the market. It's super weird. So you get Hong Kong and China opening here. This is kind of the Chinese markets and the Asia markets, and they moved up. This is like India. Who else? Like India, Malaysia. This, like, for some reason they're dumping it, right? I don't know why India's dumping loads of Bitcoin, but they are. And then this is kind of where the US market's open. Now, if you compare that to gold and to silver, what do you see? Well, you see that when the US market's opened, gold shit the bed, right? Simple as that. So think about this. Gold shit the bed when the US market's opened. Bitcoin moved up when the market opens. Pretty interesting. So we can decipher to a lesser or bigger degree, depending on whether you're super macro bullish or super not. If gold dumps, Bitcoin is going to pump. Now, ask yourself why. This then plays into the fact that maybe, just maybe, we are actually seeing a rotation from gold back into the crypto assets. We've seen this play out before. It's definitely happened before. You can go and study the charts. I'm not going to do it. You can actually overlay the gold chart if you really wanted to onto the Bitcoin chart. It's a bit clunky, but you can kind of see it, right? So the other way to look at this is given the given the macro trend, given this kind of whole oh, the market's going to zero. You're telling people the wrong advice. You don't know what you're talking about. And by the way, I never claim to be a financial advisor. I'm just talking about what I think I see. Institutions, albeit we did get a bit of selling off yesterday. In fact, probably a pretty aggressive sell-off yesterday, 530 million. Today, though, it's just not that bad. I mean, there's a little bit. ARK 21 dumped a bit. You know, there's definitely some selling off here. But the big one I always watch is the BlackRock one because it's such a big fund. 272 Bitcoin. Okay, I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. ARK 21's always dumped it. Macro, over the last 7 days, actually, the trend is probably okay. We're still holding in there. So, where do we and what do we do right now? Question, isn't it? And the short answer is, like I said, I think yesterday or maybe the day before, we have to wait and see. That's my strategy at the minute because if you panic, you could have panic sold today and thought, oh, this is it, we're going to zero and dumped it. And then the US market's open, gold shits the bed and Bitcoin kind of pushes back up to the upside. So I think we have to kind of wait and see what this market over the weekend brings. For me, market structure still in the higher time frame is still in. And I think that is important to reference. And if you ask me, gold is super, super, super overhyped right now. Super overhyped. And the big question, in my opinion, if the banks have been buying gold to potentially try and offset unrealized losses, they will move that profit into Bitcoin. They'll move it into more risk assets. They're not going to move it into the housing market because you're still paying nearly 4% interest rates. So property prices, and I think you can see that data as well. Property prices still not great. Let's have a look. US property prices chart. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I don't think property is actually that good. I mean, someone may tell me that I am wrong, but yeah, so here you go. Look, so it's not the biggest number, but we are seeing a decline in average house sales. Okay, so people aren't going to go in there because you're potentially going to lose money. You've just paid 4% interest on mortgages or whatever it is you've got, and actually this number is declining. So banks aren't going to go out and buy property. They're not going to go out and buy buildings. Like, that's not going to happen. So where are they going to put this money? Right? Where are they going to put the money? And that's where I think, again, it's all speculation a little bit, and I am absolutely determined to prove and find where this capital is being rotated into. I think once we get some more earnings, and earnings season's pretty big right now, we'll start to see it. If you were to take a look at, say, something like, I tell you what, one of today's big earners, I don't know if you saw this, but I think it paints a very interesting picture. And they also, in fact, should we do a quiz? They also have recently partnered with Coinbase. Who am I talking about? But they had their earnings report come in today, by the way. Did you see it? So who is it? Partnered with Coinbase and had their earnings report today. Who am I talking about? That's the question. Then I'm going to get into your questions because I want your views on all of this, right? So I want people's... Jazza, get in! American Express. And they came in with a freaking insane earnings report. Look at this. American Express reported EPS of 4.14. What? Beating forecast by 3.76. Revenue of $18.43 billion. It's an 11% increase year on year. What the... which is kind of crazy if you think about it. The stock surged 3.67% in pre-market following strong earnings report. So, you would argue... Okay, American Express have now looked to partner with Ripple. They've looked to partner with Coinbase. They're certainly looking at potentially doing something with digital assets. Like, that is 100% a fact that comes in. And they've just had one of the craziest returns. Now, I'm not saying for a second XRP, American Express are buying loads of Bitcoin or anything weird like that. But once again, when you've got things coming in like that, then you start to kind of get in a pretty interesting place. And potentially, this could then offset, and this, like we talked about, where is it, this chart? This, unrealized losses. This is going to be the one. So, 3 things to think about. Gold, we need to watch what's happening with the prices of gold. Unrealized losses in terms of the banks. So, are they just going to go, okay, we need to call some of these losses in, and the shit is going to hit the fan. Let's just call it as it is, right? And it will big time hit the fan as well. Or it kind of all just sort of blows over. The Fed cut rates, which will support the unrealized losses, which means actually people that are borrowing money may be able to pay back more, may pay back the Trump stimulus, so everyone gets $2,000. That could be a big thing as well. And the whole China tariffs kind of become not a thing. And therefore, this all may blow over and everything might just be fine. This is why I'm saying it's like a super crazy thing. But you watch debt, watch what the banks are doing, and then more importantly, we need to keep an eye on gold. If gold continues to dump, it may play favorably out in Bitcoin. And I think even today, think about where market sentiment is. BTC, by the way, back up of 107 right now on the stream. Think about where market sentiment is right now. How does it feel in the crypto market? How does it feel? Well, I can quantify that number for you guys, and I'm sure you've all seen it. Actually, there was a really interesting tweet here from. Let me just show you it because I thought it was fairly funny in fairness, but it probably tells us exactly what the sentiment of the market is. I mean, it's not one, by the way. Let's be clear, but this is kind of what it feels like, isn't it? And then Warren Buffett once said, "You should be greedy when the market is fearful." And maybe that is the most truest of sentiment to have right now. Everyone is absolutely convinced the market is going to collapse. Maybe it is. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you otherwise. Or maybe it's not. And that's where it gets pretty interesting. Fear and greed actually sits at 28, which is up a little bit. It is down significantly, though, from the highs that we got last, over the course of that. But we've been way low before March and April in 2025. We were way low in that. What happened at March and April lows? We went kaboom, and we went way higher off that bounce. So you could argue that everything is playing out exactly as it's played out before. What we need to see, and I actually put this in the full breakdown in the premium Discord yesterday, which I think is important that we kind of keep with that. We were talking about macro solid structure. We talked about key levels for BTC to hold. And then equally what we were looking for in terms of confirmation, some data, and a very interesting Ethereum chart, which hopefully you guys got some value out of. So we talked a little bit about what that looks like. We're going to have there'll be a new update tonight, just talking about some of the stuff I've been discussing here. But, you've got, once again, some pretty key structures holding up here. I said about ETH holding this level, a little bit further push. And you know what? We could absolutely see ETH back holding this trend, which would break back above some of the lines we've seen. So let me know what you think. Over to you guys. Let's see what you guys think in the comments, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I did see loads of comments coming in, so I'm going to go back and have a look at them, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know. Let's do it. Gold is to come down for crypto to go up. Exactly. Have you seen it today? Down 2.5%. Should you hold gold in your portfolio along with crypto? I don't think it's a bad idea. Would I buy gold right now? No. I think it's too risky. Bull run or no bull run 2-bit. I mean, we're still in a bull run. We are still in a bull run. We are at an important inflection point within this bull run, though. And I think people are focused entirely on the crypto market. Like, crypto bros are like, and if you think about what I've been talking about recently, it's the equivalent price to Bitcoin, like less about dollars. People are like, Bitcoin. Actually, there's a bigger thing here in the macro markets that maybe Trump knows about. I mean, the DXY, yet again, just for reference, by the way, 98.71 got a little bit of a move. Well, guess what? Gold's dumping because people are going into treasuries. So again, while these are moving, this is going to be important to think about. So there's loads of parts playing to this that we need to just be mindful of right now. Buy spot BTC and chill season. I mean, that's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be leveraging lots. If I'm dead honest, I don't think doing big, crazy leverages is a good idea. That's just my opinion. I just don't think it's a good idea, potentially with the risks that are attached to it. Thoughts on XRP? Yeah, I'm still pretty bullish on XRP. I think sentiment is drying up again on XRP, though. Like, retail FOMO is definitely waning a little bit. Would it be a good idea to convert my SOL to ETH? Don't know. I mean, I don't think so, personally, but you can stake your Solana, and that kind of be good. Apex Capital Management, if you want to see charts, click the YouTube. Oh, sorry, I can show them sometimes, but not all the time. Mate, you're saying this is where it's done. This is done. That no one can see where or what. Okay, Apex. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do show the charts right at the very start, but yeah, no, that's a fair point. I will try and do that. I just like. I think you guys like to see my face. What was that? What were you guys missing? Tell me what you're missing. I'll show it again. Tariffs and manipulation. Because yeah, I mean that's true. What are your thoughts on Ripple buying back? Yeah, $1 billion. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty, if you ask me. I mean, I sort of talked about this in my... I mean, weirdly, my XRP videos aren't doing very well. And actually, they've got more information and stuff you need to be aware of than ever. I mean, when you look at the latest acquisition of that G Treasury, like, that's fucking crazy. And no one seems to really understand, like, the stuff that's going on with Ripple. They've spent like $2.5 billion buying companies. All will be okay again in a couple of weeks. Let's hope so, Fairground. What are your thoughts on... I said that, didn't I? Right, let's see what you guys said. Generally, that works, but we can remain in extreme fear for months. If you are catching a falling knife, it's not a good time to buy. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. American opens back up and flips the switch. XRP 200 bucks. Let's hope so. Sentiment is so bad that it feels like it's time to get all in gamble time. I mean, Vincent, I mean, I'm not going to tell you to do that, but yeah. If gold crashed down, then people will buy more gold also. Well, this is the thing, though, because you could argue that should be the same principle for Bitcoin, but it's not. Gold will become a risk asset to a degree. Though I saw some rumors that they found some like gigantic reserve in Africa or something. But anyway, midterms next year, will Trump allow the markets to be a disaster? Would you? Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things he's run on for sure. So I don't think so. Midterms next year. I said that, didn't I? Would you keep away from ETH? No, it's my second biggest holding. I'm DCAing into Sui and Ondo. Yeah, not bad. And I like it. Yeah, I do think the government needs to come back to work. I think that'll be important for ETFs, which I think is probably something we need to get. Why only half the people like the stream? Jesse, I have no idea. But maybe everyone should just go and give it a little thumbs up if you found the content useful. Again, I could just sit here and be like, oh, let me tell you, I sold everything. I sold it all 6 weeks ago and you guys are all choppers. I actually sold the top. Bitcoin hit 126,000 and I just exited everything. I'm now fully in stablecoin. I wish. Gold is also a big system, shows a lack of confidence in it. That's true. That's true. XRP, I keep telling you at 10K. Let's get it, Curtis. Let's get it. Yeah, Bitcoin's rallying. I mean, if we're back above the line. I mean, what do you think will happen with the US and China trade war? Nothing. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Trump said it today in the interview that, like, they can't sustain it. Like, it wouldn't be. It's 155% tariffs. They can't do it. Do you consider the M2 supply slight correlated to BTC with a slight lag in the past? So I talked about this yesterday, and yes and no. So something, I don't know if you guys, let me just show you guys. So something that I'm going to start tracking, which I think is important, is the OBV value, right? This is on balance volume. What it does is track volume going into it versus price. And I think this is an important metric to look at. So for example, while we've got this massive dump coming in, actually the OBV, or the on-balance volume, is actually pretty low. That tells us that there isn't a lot of liquidity. Now, if you look at the liquidity heat maps, everything is a push upside, by the way, which may drive the sentiment in the market and may give us some interesting volatility. It all depends what market makers want to do. Do market makers want to send this to zero? Maybe they do. I mean, I don't know. But you can see there's a little bit of liquidity here, but look at this. Look at this spread right now when it comes to actual positions. Now, not a lot of people are going super crazy on leverage, but you can see this now is starting to build up at the upper ranges. So the liquidity all starts to build to the upside. If you're a market maker and you want to just keep wrecking everyone and taking loads of cash, then, you know, this is kind of how it's play out. Maybe this is the bottom. Maybe we bottomed at 103,500 and we're going to start working our way back up in a slow, methodical, and very painful grind. Maybe that's what's going to happen right now. Certainly, right, you know, and I said the weekend is going to probably be a test of what's going to happen, in my opinion. At the end of the day, everything this man has said is true and factual, but his own opinion, but you can't argue facts. That's true. Look, I'll only ever tell you what I'm doing. I'm definitely not in a world where I'm going to be saying to you guys, I think the market's fine. I think we're super bullish. While literally yesterday I sold everything in stablecoin. I haven't sold anything. Nothing at all in stablecoin right now. So yeah, it is what it is, in my opinion. Semiconductors, NVTS was on a move. Yeah, I mean, you can have a look at some of the stock markets. I mean, Tesla, I think, was okay today. If you look at like the magnificent sevens, anyway. Is it a good time to buy now? I mean, generally speaking, you say, yeah, buying into fear is good. You just need to be mindful right now. Oh, Craig sending a gift membership. Welcome to the crew, Nez. Thank you so much, Craig. Bullish on Craig. If you want to become a channel member, by the way, get access to our trade alerts, brand new coin launches, and everything else. We actually posted a new coin launch, which, FYI, has just been delayed. The dev just messaged me, actually. So that coin launch that's in the premium Discord is delayed at the moment. So I will keep you posted on that one. But again, it allows you to do a bit more research into it. But yeah, welcome in. Thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate it, Craig, as well. But if you want to get access to that, link is in the description, or you can subscribe here on TikTok as well. And you get access to our premium Discord, so definitely worthwhile. What percentage would you say we have more upside at this present time? Well, it's a great question. I actually generally think it's 50-50 right now. I think it's 50-50 because I think we could come out. So the weekend could end up being optimistic. You could get some announcement, as we've seen with Trump the last, 2 weeks on Sunday, saying that Zelensky and Russia have agreed and Putin's meeting him in whatever, South Korea or whatever. Well, no, that's Xi, isn't it? But anyway, you get that announcement on Sunday and it's like, oh, actually, markets feel pretty good. You could get a bit more announcement from, I believe, from President Xi. Maybe that's a thing as well. So I generally think it's 50-50. I think it'd be interesting to see what the markets do over the weekend. Sentiment, though, is a totally different story, by the way. And I think that's where it kind of gets, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. For example, if you want to take Polymarket, there is a view below 100K. 40% now believe that Bitcoin will drop below 40K by the end of October, making it the most bearish October in crypto history. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. 95K, 18% believe we're going to go into that as well. So, I mean, look at this, 1.3 million. Lots of people predicting that it's going to go down and it's going to go sub 100K. Maybe. Maybe. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I have to let next week play out, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of stuff coming in next week either, though, which I think is worthwhile noting. And obviously was the continuation of this... the continuation of this government shutdown is probably not great as well. Polymarket isn't a good metric. Yeah, I know it isn't. I mean, do you know what? Again, it's just an indicator, isn't it? In my opinion. So, which I think is good news. So yeah. Good. Okay. So, someone just bought to the premium Discord. Is it one of you guys that's here, by the way? And if you have, then I will put you in. I just saw something come up saying this person has done something. Did it come on my phone then, or did it come up on my screen? I will sort that out as well. Bullish. Tomorrow's a green day. Casey, love it. Okay, are you already in the Discord, by the way, Casey, or not? Are you actually in our Discord? Because if you're not, then I will get you in. Bullish on you, bro. I love that. Thank you so much. What name am I looking for? Where are you? Where are you? Are you online or are you not online? I'll get you straight. Oh, there you are. I think I found you. There you are. Bosh. You're in. You're now green in there, bro. Now green in there. Welcome in. And yeah, look out for that report later on. Like I said, that alpha call coin is in there as well. So take a look at it. Again, not financial advice. We're just kind of putting it out there. I don't know anyone saying they've bought anything. If BTC drops below 40K, I'm selling the house. Someone, who is it? Andrew Tate said Bitcoin's going to 26K, and you're like, yeah, you are full of shit. Now, we are actually seeing some nice recovery. Look at this. Bitcoin under 1%. Interesting. Gold 1.8. So gold is kind of rallying back a little bit. Silver, absolutely not. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is trying to push a little bit. So this is kind of good news. 2-bit, if no more crypto, no more banks, let's gamble on slots. Let's do it. I'm down. Little green bike, here I am. I don't know who that is, but welcome in. Hey, welcome in everybody, by the way. Loads of cool-ass new people coming into the channel, so I massively appreciate it. It does really make a difference to me, personally, with the work I'm putting in. I am really working hard right now to try and bring some absolute value to what you guys get out of it. So hopefully you do, and hopefully you enjoy it, and highly recommend getting into the Discord as well. Link in the bio and the description, by the way. You don't have to get into the premium one, but if you want to get access to that, then, you know, it's worth it. It's like, what, like $11 a month or something crazy like that. Bartlex says buy, sell, or wait. Personally, again, just me, I am waiting currently. I am waiting to see what happens. And I think that will be a good idea. Personally. Like we said, we've talked a lot tonight about where the market's going to go. Hopefully we get a good Sunday. I mean, sorry, a good weekend. I mean, look at this. This was last Sunday. We got a big move last Sunday. And it actually started the big push up. So if you think about this, likewise, if you go back here, this was the start. This was the bottom. Previously, on both of these two big moves, they actually started on a Sunday. Maybe the same happens again. Maybe this is the low. I do want to see us back above about 108,000. That's the 200 EMA, which I do think is important. On the daily, if you go to the weekly, everything's kind of okay. I say okay. It's not really okay. But if you look at that and you didn't know that we broke a new all-time high, you would absolutely look at that chart and go, do you know what? Market structure feels pretty solid, actually. It seems to be holding up, so, you know, pretty well. So, yeah, could be good news. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think at the minute, wait and see what happens through the weekend. Just send a message in the Discord. Okay, I'll grab you, bro. Let me, oh, there you are, look. Uh, yeah, or you can just send Solana if that's easier. If that's easier, whatever's easiest, it's a Solana address. So I think you can just send Solana if you want. If that works, by the way. If that works, Bri. Just send like whatever I said it was, like $8. Is it $8? $9. Just send $9 to that. Send $9 of Solana to that address. Remember, it's monthly, but and then I'll get you in. Just let me know you've done it. Green all weekend. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Usually on the weekend, the market is closed or slow. Right? Yeah, I mean the market, the traditional financial markets are closed. This is why maybe we get some movement in the crypto market. But yeah, I mean, look, hopefully we hold up right now. When will we see the market green, bro? Monday or next month? I mean, you could see it green tomorrow, to be honest. But if your question is when is the market going to start moving back to the upside, the answer to that is we have to wait and see. And I know people don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear that, by the way, because I think there is definitely people want hopium. People want to do it. If you are generally sat there going, thanks, Ben. Sat there going, please, this market needs to go back to 125k, otherwise then you are 100% over leveraged and you shouldn't be in that place. That's not me trying to be a dickhead. It's just me trying to be honest. Okay, he says, I was not completely wrong with that. He's saying that that's true. Is there a reason why crypto is dumping hard? I mean, we're not crazy dumping today. It's 1%. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I'd well much prefer it to be a 1% to the upside, but you know, you got a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of turmoil in the markets, a lot of unease in the market. This whole China thing is definitely a thing. Would I sell altcoins now? I mean, I haven't. I mean, I did think about maybe correcting on some ETH. I think, look, if ETH is back above 4,000 out of the weekend, I'm probably pretty comfortable. I think if ETH was to push down any more through the weekend, I may. By the way, I'm not weird about this sort of stuff. I'll tell you when I've done it. Like, I'm really not weird about any of this sort of stuff. May decide to do it, but we'll see. We'll see. You almost send a message, invite gifters to come back. What's that? Crypto Vincent, a hat and a mustache. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I forgot I made you a moderator, Casey. Love that, by the way. Thanks for the follows, everybody. Appreciate it, by the way. Need to also consider we were at 103,500. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, think about it. We were at 75k here back in March, and everyone was going, "Oh, the bull market's a complete load of crap. It's absolutely the worst thing in the world." And then, boom, you know, off we go. I mean, we're back to the levels that we were here June time. So the problem people have got is the aggressiveness that we came down. But again, look at this. You look at kind of some of the market structure, you look at previous bull market cycles. The difference right now is the institutional element to it and what they're doing. At the minute, you could argue and say, with the exception of a few of the more volatile ones, they're pretty much holding it down. Like, they're pretty much holding it down. So, you know, we'll see. Just going to take this shit. Happens it dump. Yeah, that's true. Need to also consider, yeah, I said that, didn't I? And that crypto assets are being moved out of ETFs into gold, but gold has recently started to dump again. I mean, yeah. People are just going to chase the narrative, and it will only take a couple of key, you know, you think we have a green week this week. Let's say Bitcoin pumps 5% this week over the course of the next 7 days. Sentiment will quickly change. Quickly change. If you get a weekly close that's green, then, you know, we could definitely see sentiment change rather rapidly. I think, anyway. I think. And all of a sudden, everyone will go, oh, well, no, what I said was the market was bearish at that point. I didn't say the market was over. Like, I guarantee you all these people will be like, oh, no. And I would even call some of them out now. They'll all flip and be like, no, I bought the bottom, though. I bought the bottom. I bought it, and I'm back in now. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Part of the game, we want all the potential upside. Then we need to accept the volatility. Yeah, and understand this market's not fair. It's not fair, is it? The market's not fair. We are already at the start of the bear market. We are in for a long drawdown to 50k. Do you think? Mike Tran. Maybe. They'll buy back into crypto when gold starts to dump. I mean, that's the big question right now. I think gold is the one to keep your eyes out for. And I think the Fed will be another one as well to keep your eye out for. And like we said, these freaking banks and hoping they don't default. Let's hope that no banks go under. Like, we don't need to see these banks collapse. That is a shit show. If the banks collapse, then don't matter what you've got. The only play is leverage short. That's it. Because it'll all go to fucking absolute disaster. Thank God I'm in SPX 6900 outperforming BTC 2023 until now. Is it? Is it still outperforming today? I find that hard to believe, but maybe it is. Maybe SPX 6900 is the coin that everyone should be in. I don't know if it is or not, but I would be incredibly surprised if that is up today and the rest of the market's down. It is down 6% on the day. It's one of the worst performing. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I mean, in fairness, it's not the worst performing, but it is up there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I don't have to scroll far to see it. What's the coin you want to be in today? You want to be in Manu. Someone said about that the other day, actually. Manu's up there as well. Toshi's up 4%. Man, Toshi's still pushing, by the way. Interesting. Interesting. Fart Boy is doing pretty well. Look at Uranus. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can still be a kid, can't you? That's my view. Even Zebek went down. Yeah, well, if Zebek's down, sell and everything. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at this chart. Why have we got so much crap on the Zebek chart? Jesus. On the weekly. I mean, the weekly on Zebek actually looks okay. Look at this. Holding the 20-day EMA. I don't TikTok. I don't know if you want to see all this kind of stuff, but yeah, Zebek actually holding the 20-day EMA. Pretty interesting, is that? Ask Kraken is a fun project. It is. It is. I tell you what, as Aerodrome finances, I mean, Aerodrome looks awful right now, but I mean, I wonder what the staking rewards look like on Aerodrome. What do they look like? Not staking rewards. You know what I'm talking about. The yield. Do research on fundamentals, they said, whilst Fartcoin does a 10x. Yeah. Have you not seen the meme? And it says like 2021. It's got a screen and it's got like technical analysis, charts, and then it says 2025 and it's got a picture of the X logo on Trump's face. Where are we at? 3.7. Not only just absolutely ruining my bags, I'm getting 3.76% APR. Get out of here, Aerodrome Finance, you massive set of choppers. Anyway, right, where's BTC at? 107, 174. Back above this line, though. Pretty interesting. Let's hope for some bullish momentum. Might go to shit tomorrow. You want to compare SPX, Satoshi, Brett, etc.? Opinion on Ondo, price prediction, mate. I mean, I'm bullish on Ondo. I did and hold Ondo. I've even DCA'd into Ondo on Friday's crash. I do think it needs to get the treasury market on, which I think would be good. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's the same as every other altcoin right now, which is it's getting absolutely wrecked. But today actually feels okay. Today feels okay. I mean, Solana may even go green by the end of the day, which could be pretty crazy. But Zcash, I mean, Zcash is just a joke this cycle. Zcash's up 10%. Getting long on Zcash. I want to go long on Zcash, bro. Who to bit join late, so watching back from the start. Dave, oh, you legend. What's going on, buddy? This time last week was a very different live stream. Yeah, where were we this time? Oh, no, this time last week was a disaster, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Or were we at all-time highs? No, we were at all-time highs. We were here. We were like dumping to oblivion, right? Can't remember. Can't remember. Fartcoin. Ricky loves a bit of Fartcoin. And he's also not selling. Break back above the 200-day EMA on the daily would be nice. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Which we are not a million miles away from. This is the daily. This is the 200 EMA right now. What's that? 108, 100. So look, if we can get a bit of a push right now. I mean, I don't know what after hours on the stock market's doing, but I mean, gold is 1.8. Dixie, yeah, kind of holding up, really. So yeah, if we could get a little bit of push, I think this will. I mean, the weekend will definitely. I got it. BR95, thanks, man. Have I already done it for you or not? Where are you? Let me find you. Is that you? Yeah, that's you. Okay, cool. Cool. Let me give you access to it. Welcome, another channel member, you massive legend. There you go, look, you now have a green name. That means that you are cool and everyone can look at you like, holy shit, this guy's in the secret club. That's right. Don't sell if you sell now, you're a lot. Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. There is an argument, by the way, and I don't want to turn this into like an echo chamber of don't sell because you're a massive chopper, but you just got to do what you think is right for you. That's my opinion. And I think that I want to see what the weekend does. If the weekend moves to the upside, it will confirm my thesis that there is bigger forces at play which are pushing the market down. If the market dumps, then you kind of go, okay, maybe we might need to take some chips off the table. Maybe. Thoughts on XRP? I still like XRP. XRPZ! I like him more, though. But yeah, bullish on XRP. I'm curious about this $1 billion buyback. That could be pretty interesting. That, by the way, $1 billion buyback tells me that the escrow is Not at risk, but tells me they could do something with the escrow if they wanted to. In a sandwich between long-term trend line and the 200-day EMA break above in a tight range between two indicators can often result in an explosive move. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Who's that using the bot? Love it. Love it. Just get involved. Get involved. What's it bringing up? Binance Quant. Oh, I like it. Someone's after some Quant. Oh, Zcash can bump. That's but XRP can bump. That's right. Yeah. Again, Zcash is a little bit like gold, though, isn't it? Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I need to get into Zcash, privacy coin. They're going to take all my crypto away from me. Let's pump to them the moon." It's pure and utter like craziness. Like, there's just no reason Zcash is going crazy. But hey, who knows in these markets? Does agreement between China and Trump affect the market? Yeah, you'll see the market pump on the back of that. Whether it'll pump crazy, I don't know. It depends what the deal will be. If Trump comes in and says, had a great meeting with President Xi, we've agreed that, you know, we're going to drop the tariffs and President Xi's going to drop his, and we've secured a really good rare minerals deal, and they're not going to be buying, like, you know, Iranian oil or blah, 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 then yeah, markets will be like, yep, bullrun's back on, baby. If not, though, they do this. Yeah, we just looked at that, Zach Hudson. Yeah, Toshi's actually doing pretty well. Zelio, because that's the aim of the triple. Yeah, I mean, that's true. They can have my XRP for 500 each. Ooh, if we fall into a bear market, it's Baron Trump's fault. That's true. I still like the fact that Baron Trump paid off the US national debt. I think that's just the best meme in the world that I've seen, but yeah. Yeah, Ukraine war finish will be good as well. That would be good as well, so. What do I think of Chainlink? I like Chainlink, and I also think it's on a bit of a bargain right now. Was it like $12 or something? $16? Like, what? What? But yeah, Tuba, do you think we reversed the trend a couple of hours ago? I think it's too early to call, but I think if we get a pump over the weekend, if the weekend turns green, let's say tomorrow's green, maybe Sunday's a good day, I think that allows us to explore the thesis of this is an institutional driven dump in the market. Now, that would correlate perfectly to Binance and what they did on that Friday. Just saying. By the way, I don't know if I did have some news here, by the way. Mr. Beast is now getting into the market. Pretty interesting. Could that be a top signal? Maybe. Mr. Beast is going heavy on cryptocurrency. No, Beast. Piss off. Let's see dead quick what is going on here, just really quickly, in terms of what Wintermute doing. Let's do 10 million. Be interesting to see what they're moving around. So selling USDT, a little bit of ETH going from deposit to hot wallet. Binance hot wallet dumping a little bit of ETH. Nothing crazy. This is like 2 hours ago. Bitcoin. Yeah, there's nothing super crazy going on. This is the difference between weekends and like weekdays, I think. Binance to Wintermute. See, look, buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum. See what the Binance. Do you guys want to? I always say this. Do you guys want to see this? TikTok. So yeah. So look. These are. I mean, these are sell orders. Look at this. Binance hot wallet to Coinbase, OKX. So other exchanges are now buying other cryptocurrencies. Interesting. Binance deposit into the hot wallet. 5 million Bitcoin. Just, you know, a nice cool little 5 milli. Nice, cool little 5 milli. So yeah, a couple of hours ago, look, you're definitely starting to see some big amounts of BTC moving into those hot wallets. Maybe the expectation is that, yeah, maybe people are going to come in and buy. I mean, look at that. Binance deposits into Binance hot wallet, $50 million worth of Bitcoin 2 hours ago. And then you are seeing a large amounts of Bitcoin going to other exchanges from the Binance hot wallet as well. So yeah, maybe we get a decent-ish weekend. Hopefully we can hold it. It's all about the closes, really. Stanton says, I heard Casper has on 6% left to mine. Is that true? I don't believe that would be true, but I don't know, if I'm honest. People called XRP a stablecoin for years. And being manipulated not to be risky and implement as a global. I mean, that's true. I mean, again, we need to kind of understand what this buyback thing is, which I think could be pretty interesting when it comes to Ripple. BlackRock. We can look at the BlackRock wallet. So buying a shit ton of Ethereum today, FYI. Did you see that there's been an application for a ETH 3x leverage ETH ETF as well? But yeah, buying an absolute crap ton of ETH and dumping a whole crap ton of Bitcoin. Interesting, Mr. BlackRock. So you say that XRP is meant to be a stablecoin and will never reach any... no, I don't think that's what he's saying. I reckon so. Don't take my advice. No. I don't think that's what he's saying at all. Bitmine by... Yeah, they bought like 200,000, didn't they? I don't think they haven't bought any recently, but they bought 202,000 like a couple of days ago. Yeah, October 11th, they bought 202,000. So there you go. Look, this is the Bitmine purchase here. Look. Currently sitting at 6.87 million Ethereum. They're not messing around. Not messing around at all, by the way. Jam said we're in a bear market since the beginning of 2025. Well, then they're just talking nonsense. How can you be in a bear market and print 3 new all-time highs for Bitcoin? Doesn't make any sense. That statement does not make any sense whatsoever. We're in a bear market, but the price keeps going up. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. None. All right. None. Anyway, Shane's in the house. What's going on, Shane? Ellie, welcome in. Good to see you. Appreciate everyone tuning in. By the way, don't forget, if you want to just tap that screen. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you're here on YouTube. Good turnout tonight, by the way. We've been over like 120 viewers the whole stream. Let's go, baby. If you enjoyed the content, definitely smash that like button and subscribe, by the way. Definitely feel like YouTube is suppressing my subscriber counts. I did a video that had 2,000 views and it got 2 subscribers. Come on, YouTube. I know that you're upset with me for that video that I don't think is right, but anyway. It's fine. It's fine. He already sold his bags. Well, the start of 2025. I mean, fair play. Like, look, if he's in profits, then I'm gonna shit on anyone that's like, if they, if they got in and made some good money on happy days. Again, you've got to make your own decision. You've got to be like, am I going to, do I think the market's over? If you think the market's over, then you're going to sell and get the hell out of it. If you think that there are some things playing out that, well, do you know what? At the minute, the only thing for me right now, I guess, is it does feel a little bit different to the previous 2 dumps we've had in the market, but it feels a little bit more deliberate of a dump. And I think that's why I am subconsciously more interested, because I'm way more objective than I was in 2021. I'm definitely way more pragmatic than I was in 2017. So as much as I still am a sucker for FOMO, and I know that as well, equally I can kind of read charts more. I can read sentiment more than I ever could. And I feel like, I feel like it's like, okay, well, let's just see where we go to. The bear and bull cycle will never be like before. Institutions can control. Yeah, I mean, that's true as well. Ethereum futures, your thoughts? I think Ethereum is going to be pretty good. I like Ethereum. It's my second biggest holding. So, yeah, I think ETH will have its time. I think the fact that it's a part of a treasury company is going to be good news, because if it is, then, generally speaking, we should see it perform well. And the bigger debate here is, and I don't want to get too deep into the bear market conversation, but the reality is that how low do we go in a bear market? I mean, total crypto treasuries right now, $447 billion. You look at Ethereum, it's just under $47 billion, but it's only 79 companies. Think about that. What happens when that's like 179 companies? It could be like $400 billion. All of a sudden, you've got this kind of crazy thing. The problem you've got is, whenever the markets turn bearish, like we're seeing it now, you're not going to get a lot of people coming in going, oh, I'm going to go and buy $1 billion worth of Ethereum. Remember, people, like, think about the NFT craze with celebrities. Like, no one bought NFTs when they were worthless. They all bought it when they were massively overpriced and overhyped. So, what's your thoughts on Doge? I don't really have a thought on Doge. Do I think it'll have a decent run? Hopefully. Again, I think you just have to bring everything together in the market right now and say, if the market holds up, everything should go on to perform pretty well. We definitely are due an altcoin market. If retail have still got into the market, these are where all those will move. If the market turns out that it is actually pretty bearish, then yeah, look, we're done and everything's going to go to freaking zero. So, Ethereum in a cold wallet, good or bad? Mine's in a cold wallet. My Ethereum's in a ledger. Nano S. I actually don't have, outside of like a little bit of DeFi ETH, my main ETH portfolio is sat in my Nano S, along with my XRP as well. Then yeah, I mean, exactly, Vern. Yeah, exactly. Do you think it will ever reach 60 cents? Dogecoin. I mean, 60 cents is a I mean, again, though, it hit 75 cents. I mean, that's peak 2021, though, when the markets were like absolutely crazy. But can it? Yes. Is it likely? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, you look at Dogecoin here on the weekly candles. Even when you look at altcoins, that's like take it from the bottom. It's not the worst chart. I mean, it really isn't the worst chart I've ever seen. It really isn't the worst chart I've ever seen. You know, if you said that, that's an uptrend when it comes to Dogecoin. I mean, kind of similar when you go across a lot of the other coins as well. But should we not be looking into altcoins? I mean, again, the only difference with altcoins right now is Friday was a massive liquidation event for altcoins. Didn't really touch Bitcoin, although Bitcoin did push down. Not as much as we saw in altcoins. So again, altcoins are way more volatile. I would be, well, you either go and try and find the new shiny coin or you DCA or sit tight. So I have some USDT. I'm just sitting tight and seeing what happens. I just want to see what this market plays out like. Total 2, yeah. Total 2 minus stable coins is this. So excluding Bitcoin. And yeah, so what are we at? 1.16 trillion down 2%. Yeah, exactly. You have to sell if you want to keep your gains. Of course you do. Even professionals get sucked into FOMO every now and then. We can't say, yeah, exactly, Craig. It's just the nature of the market, isn't it? Will SHIB reach a new high this coming year? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if you do get another meme coin super cycle and everything goes crazy and memes start absolutely pumping to oblivion, my view is that you will get things like Brett, Pepe, Pengu, all of those, I think will run more aggressively than Shiba Inu. Bonk, I think. Don't forget, they've all got actual core reasons to hold the coins. Shib's a little bit like, yeah, you're still sort of hanging on to 2021's optimism, should we say. Yeah. Look at the weekly. This is the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart we're on. Again, you'd argue, I know that we've put this in terms of the tops, but you could say total 2, the bottom of the bear market, December 2022. You know, outside of obviously some of these key wicks, I mean, look, it's still pretty optimistic. Like you would argue. And then, I mean, if you, the thing is with these though, the thing with the total 2s is they can be a little bit, they can be just a little bit deceiving, can't they? But if you take that as like the ultimate kind of trend line, and then you start to go, well, what do we have playing out? I mean, we've seen this pattern before. Do we get the triple bottom? Maybe. And then, you know, it comes down, bounces up to the retest, takes us into 2026. Bull market top in 2026, baby. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Predictions on DeFi technology in 12 months. I think Wall Street will adopt it, and I think it could be crazy. But I also think it'll be a shit show for a lot of it. I think loads will get wrecked, and I think loads will be just go to zero. So we'll see. Bonk, yeah, I like Bonk. Bonk's good. Bonk's got an ecosystem that's now got 1 million holders and is actually generating revenue. So I like Bonk. Have a look at it. I'm not saying buy it, but yeah, I quite like it. 3 things would get us back on track. Clarity Act, Ukraine, China. Yeah, I agree. And I'd add a 4th, banks not collapsing. What would Sailor say? I need to raise more debt, but I can't because my stock price keeps falling. Oh, dear. He said about Tom Lee the other day. Did you not see it? He was just like, Tom Lee's like the most like sensible man in all of the land or something. He said something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was pretty bullish. We'll see. I mean, will Sailor buy on Monday? That's the question. Is he going to raise more debt even while, you know, things are going down? That's the debate right now. Yeah, I saw that, Tomato Pete. It's so good. I just seen the message you sent me on X. I've been DCA'd on SHIB for the last 4 years announced. You could not have imagined it would have gone below the 4. Yeah, I mean, it's the same with Pepe. I mean, I've DCA'd Pepe to the point now where I'm like, Jesus Christ, I probably should be DCAing more, but at the same time, you got to get to a point of going, am I just DCAing blindly and it's going to absolutely end up wrecking me completely? But yeah, we will see. We'll see. Do you know what I mean? That's probably where I'm at right now. I don't prefer either, to be honest. I'm very conscious right now that I'm not in loads of meme coins. I've got Pepe and I've got Bonk, and that is about it. I mean, Pepe could go lower. Depends on the market does right now. I mean, if the market shits the bed, then yeah, Pepe will go lower. But I think there will be a point, and as much as people don't want to say this, there will be a point where actually it gets so low that it can't come back. Like, people will just find the new shiny meme coin that's going to go to the moon. That is the challenge we have with a number of this stuff. But, Sailor tweeted 22 minutes ago saying, volatility is the gift to the faithful. Interesting. Sailor is bullish still. Oh, dear me. I reckon Brett will fly. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Oh, well, Sol gold yesterday, so not in that anymore. I've been in Sol since $8. Nice. Tobias says, real question is, the normal people in crypto, nobody comes to mind, including us. Yeah, that's true. Turbo any good? I mean, we've covered Turbo a couple of times on the channel, and my honest opinion is that I think they really screwed up when it was on Coinbase. They should have nailed the Coinbase listing, but they didn't quite do it. But yeah. How about React? Don't know about React. XRP turning point. I mean, hopefully market turning point. I mean, look at BTC right now. 107,365. Let's go, BTC. You go pump it up. Let's go. Pump it up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Be nice to break 108 for the close. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That would be bullish, if you ask me. Recommendation for cold storage in the UK. So I have a Ledger Nano S. I think the Ledger Nano X is pretty good. But I know there was some vulnerabilities at some point. But I've never had any problems with it, personally. Never had any problems. I believe, did someone tell me Tangam wallets ended up being a bit weird the other, like, something happened with them. But yeah, I have a Ledger, and I probably would get another Ledger in fairness. I believe they're okay, so. Reckon Brett will fly, will onboard a lot of normies. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the whole meme coin market should onboard normies. Man, I was looking at my head then. It looked like I had like a little... Look at this. Like, what the hell is this? Is this just old age? Like a Harry Potter scar? What is this? Ah! Like a bum on my head. Can you see this? Can you see this, YouTube? What the hell is this, look? Is this? Anyway. I bought Pepe at 0.000015. I'm scared it will never go back there. 1, 2... What do you buy it at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. I mean, again... 0.000015. Okay, right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, the honest answer is that you either just sit tight, sell at a loss, or background is here. What do you mean a shaving cut? It's like the side of my head. Or if you can afford to try and DCA in this, I was talking about this the other night, of actually then trying to bring your break-even price down. That's what DCAing kind of essentially does, but again, sometimes it's difficult because you're like, well, I don't want to put any more money in this because if it goes to 0, then it's going to be rubbish. Nothing wrong with my Tangam. Nice, Curtis. Stress scar probably is actually. What do I think of Picoin? I think if you've still got it and you had the chance to sell it, I think that would be a foolish play. But I mean, their ecosystem is kind of all right, but I mean, we're kidding ourselves if we think it's going to do anything crazy right now. Brett's very cheap right now, but I think this is the bearish actually week. Yeah, I mean, Brett is pretty cheap in fairness. The only thing with Brett that I guess is it's the obvious one, isn't it? It's like, why have Coinbase not listed Brett? It doesn't make any sense that they haven't listed it, but Coinbase have listed BNB before they've listed Brett. Like it's the opening screen on the Coinbase DeFi wallet is Brett, and they still haven't listed it. It's fine. We'll see. We will see. Right. Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't think she did, but maybe she did while I was asleep. Maybe she was trying to get me to tell us my seed phrases. I'm still mining more Pi after selling 1250 odd a while ago. That's all right. I mean, look, if you can make some money on it. I mean, it's free at the end of the day, so, why not? Market's not peaked yet. They're waiting for perfect catalyst. Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. I mean, like I said, I would always rather be a a bull than a bear, personally. I'd always like to see the optimism in the market versus, and I just want to I want to show some of these absolute choppers that have just flip-flopped the whole market cycle and now are like, oh, well, yeah, no, I'm super bearish of the markets. It's like, okay, you weren't literally 48 hours ago. I just kind of want those people to end up eating humble pie and being exposed for the complete and utter nonsense they all speak. Whether that's going to happen or not is a different debate. That's the question. That is the question right now. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is for another show. in my opinion. Zora, yeah, I've seen that. It's like the social media coin, right? I see, I think Crypto Empress is really on that. I have loads of picks, but can't sell as I stake it by mistake. Do you mean Pi coin? Man, I'm curious. Anyone bought gold through Pax Gold or Tether Gold pricing the same one? Yeah, well, I saw that. They were the two best performing coins in the crypto market. It's like, what? We are getting a little rally. Look, Bitcoin 107, 400 feels like I probably should stay alive for a little bit longer as BTC is pushing. Sol's gone green on the day. So, yeah, good news. To be honest, if I'm not so bullish on SPX, I would prefer to buy Toshi. I mean, it's not a bad shout. We're going up, bro. Really rich. Let's do it, baby. Close the day 108. Matt, that would be very good news. 108 close on the 200 EMA. Bullish. All right, that's where I would get to. If we don't, then so be it. But yeah, I would like to see us close above that 100-day EMA. The 100-day EMA close at 108. 100 would be freaking good news. Yeah, Apple, they're a bit sneaky locking that up. Everyone made the same mistake. Choppers. How old am I? I am 42. I think. What the hell? What the hell? There's just a tweet come through. This can't be real. This cannot be real. My Twitter has just flagged a tweet by somebody. No way. No way that's real. What the? Where's that tweet gone? What the hell just happened? What just happened? My phone, this is not a joke, by the way. My phone just came up and said a tweet by Russell Armand. What? What just happened there? I literally just got a notification that Russell Armand had just tweeted out. That can't be true. That can't be true. No way. He's not even on Twitter anymore, is he? What the? What just happened? What just happened? I mean, this is that was the weirdest thing in the world. Thank you for your streams and your community is amazing. Thank you, Tim. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I massively, massively appreciate it. I do. Like I said, I'm super bullish on super bullish about the kind of new community and the new people that are coming in. And unfortunately, some people have decided to go and do their own thing, and that's cool. Like that's the rotation of this market. But hopefully, if you get any value out of these live streams and they kind of support you in your decisions, then it's worth it. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I live stream 6 days a week. I take Saturdays off, which is tomorrow, so I won't be live tomorrow. I actually have an important call with somebody tomorrow. That's actually going to be good news. And yeah, look, I appreciate you guys for sure. And yeah, look out for tweets by Russell Armand. That would be pretty insane if he starts tweeting out again. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We won't be here tomorrow night. Obviously, I take Saturday nights off. Although, I don't know, maybe I might do something on Twitter. Sorry, on TikTok. Maybe. I was thinking my missus is out with one of my mates for dinner, so I'm actually on my own tomorrow night. But maybe. Maybe. Make sure you're in the Discord. I'll announce it in the Discord. Links in my bio. It's also in the description down below. And if you want to become that channel member, grab access to our premium Discord, where you get brand new trade alerts, all new coins, and equally our trade bot in there that can support you in terms of your technical analysis. Then grab a channel membership here. Link in the description. Become a subscriber on TikTok. Or you can also grab us on whoop.com, all in the description. And yeah, jump in, hopefully. And we will build this out. We're working currently on something that's going to start to pull airdrop information as well. Again, it's all going to be about how we can add value to you. And I think that's super important. So Apple Bay, hopefully very soon. That's what my call is about tomorrow. There is no point launching it into a shit market though. So we just need to time it right. But yeah, call tomorrow. Going to be good news. Right, Stream Elements, get the hell back in your box. As always, thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Enjoy your Saturdays, and hopefully you'll be all back Sunday night for a new live stream. And hopefully we could be at a bullish price on Bitcoin. FYI, 107,509, baby. We just broke 107,500. Let's get it. Right, catch you all later. See you soon.